Hello and welcome to Coretv News at 4. I am Elijah Mokil Latunji. Now, two different pro-Saraki groups on Tuesday showed up at the entrance of the National Assembly in a show of solidarity for the leadership of the Senate under Bukola Saraki. And one of the groups, Ohane's Indigo Youth Movement, stated that the rally was part of activities to mark this year's Eagles Day celebration, while also identifying with Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu. The other group is the Coalition of Civil Society and Media Executives for Policy and Stability. More details in the subsequent bulletins. About 83 senators on Tuesday passed a vote of confidence on the President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, and other principal officers in the aftermath of his current travails at the Coretv Conduct Tribunal. The move followed a motion raised by David Umar representing Niger East when the federal lawmakers resumed from a 6-week-long recess. Senator Umar maintained that the Senate will not be deterred by what he described as cheap blackmail. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Rules and Business, Senator Babajide Omowurare, had earlier dissociated himself from the original 84-man list of pro-Saraki supporters in the Senate. This is the second time since inauguration that a group of senators would pass a vote of confidence on the Senate president. As the trial of the Senate president continues, the matters continue to generate intense reaction from prominent citizens across the nation. And latest to add his voice to the developing story is Stefanos Wansat, who is a former speaker and a sitting member of the Plateau State House of Assembly. He spoke with a Plateau State correspondent in this report.
While some are of the opinion that the Senate President, Bukola Saraki, should step down from his position, others are crying foul that the entire process of the Code of Conduct Bureau has been flawed. The lawmaker argued that if corruption is to be fought squarely in the country, it should be holistic, and that the crusade should not be a means of settling political disputes. He stated that the entire trial is not being done in good faith, adding that Saraki should not contemplate resignation at all.
I will advise Saraki to fight on. I will never advise Saraki to resign, because if the allegations or what he is going through is in good faith, Saraki should resign. But I can assure you, what Saraki is going through, his persecutors, or those that raise those allegations against him, even if the allegations are true, the allegations are not raised in good faith.
The lawmaker, who called on President Buhari to tread carefully in his crusade, argued that those who assisted him to power are men and women of questionable conduct. Therefore, it cannot be said to be free of corruption. The lawmaker, who was speaker during the 6th Assembly in the state, said docking a sitting Senate president for what seems to be a targeted query is a bad omen for the country.
In the interest of this country, when I saw Saraki in the dock, tears rolled down from my eyes, because I know we are running into serious problems in this country. We are running into serious problems in this country. Yes, Buhari is fighting corruption. Perfect. That is good. He is a product of corrupt people. Yeah. Who amongst those people that stood for Buhari to emerge, first and foremost, as a candidate of APC, then secondly, as the president of Nigeria, who amongst them is not corrupt?
Wansat vows to use the resources at his disposal to stand by the embattled Senate president until found not guilty, because the entire process and those behind the prosecution have not come to equity with clean hands.
So what are we talking about? The other day they were saying between 1999 and till date, over 18,000 assets have been declared. It is now that Saraki's declaration is the major issue. Not in good faith. And because of that, wallahi, I will stand with Saraki and all the way. He must fight on. Let's see where this thing will take us to.
As the nation awaits October 21 for the continuation of the Senate President's trial at the Code of Conduct Tribunal, it's expected that justice will be duly served.
A civil society group, New Nigeria Agenda, throws weight behind the anti-corruption crusade of President Muhammadu Buhari. They also want President Buhari to extend the anti-graft war to other sectors of the economy. The government argued that if this was done in Nigeria, the country would not only be free of corruption, but will also be firmly on the path of socio-economic development. The civil rights body made its position known at a press conference in Abuja.
Corruption, as we all know, is the abuse of public resources for personal gains. By resources, we mean not just public funds, but also public institutions and constituted authorities. Since the inauguration of the 8th Assembly of the 8th National Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we have witnessed the continued process of seeming influence of certain individuals through by virtue of their close association to power to try and manipulate the freedom to choose as enshrined in our constitution, but rather dictate their wishes and personal gains and personal agendas using the instruments of government. Of what he mentioned, it is the recent travails of the Senate President, Senator Bukola Saraki, who was charged with false declaration of assets. Nigerians have watched in disbelief where a judge accused of corruption is issuing a bench warrant of arrest for another accused, even when his counsel representing him assured the tribunal chairman, that he will present his client in court.
Gamaliel Nosode, who is the technocrat and a former presidential candidate of the defunct All Niger People's Party of Nigeria, is dead. Nosode, who hailed from Delta State in Nigeria, passed on in the early hours of Tuesday at the age of 82. During his lifetime, he chaired several private and public sector businesses and initiatives, including Dunlop Nigeria PLC, Cadbury Nigeria PLC, the Presidential Commission on Parastatals in 1981, and has been in the forefront of Niger Delta Environmental Survey since 1995. A report which was later tagged the Onosode report, an outgrowth of his role as the chairman of the commission to review Nigeria parastatals, was the first in the nation to tackle comprehensively the industrialization drive and capital spending which dominated the oil boom of the 1970s and the early 1980s. President Muhammadu Buhari says his administration is set to fight corruption to a logical conclusion despite the daunting challenges, and the president gave the assurance in Abuja at a training organized by the Network of National Anti-Corruption Institutions in West Africa. He expressed concern at the rate public funds were looted by government officials on a day the EFCC decried the level of corruption in the country. Samuel has more.
13 African countries are gathered here for a 10-day training on how to fight corruption in the West African sub-region. They have converged on the EFCC training school to champion a way forward for a corrupt-free sub-region. But first, the EFCC chairman, Ibrahim Lamurde, expressed shock over the growing level of corruption in the country.
Crimes in each of our nation today have not only grown in proportion, but in sophistication. And criminals now have reaches across national institutions and borders, and can even threaten the very existence of some states. We count ourselves very lucky in Nigeria to have a government that, without prompting from any quarter, chose the determined war on corruption as its defining character.
The story of corruption cuts across several West African countries. Joseph Camara is the chairman of the Anti-Corruption Commission of Sierra Leone. He argued that now that corruption has an international dimension, there's need for an international solution.
There are certain issues that are commonplace in Africa today, especially in the sub-region. Issues of third-term bids for presidents, extending their tenure of office, issues of political financing, tweaking of elections, issues of money laundering, lack of education because of corruption. These are all issues that go beyond the debate. And as a people, as custodians, and as leaders in the fight against corruption, we take responsibility in ensuring that we take our positions to make sure that we deliver the hope, not only the aspirations for the young, but for those of us that are seated here this morning.
In the midst of all this, President Muhammadu Buhari says he's determined to win the war against corruption in Nigeria. He, however, wants the EFCC to come up with a workable framework to enhance the anti-graft crusade. The president insists that he is prepared to reclaim all stolen wealth from individuals or groups.
The government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is totally committed to the fight against all forms of fraud, be it economic, financial crimes, corruption, or money laundering. Ladies and gentlemen, over the years, the defining narrative of Nigeria had been that of a country on the march, but in the wrong direction. For despite the fact that Nigeria is one of the most resource-rich countries in the world, the lives of its people has been blighted by the scourge of corruption.
For now, Nigerians can only hope that the regional cooperation will go a long way in stamping out corruption from West Africa. Pius Samuel, Coretv News, Abuja.
The federal government says despite the isolated violence being witnessed in some parts of the country, Nigeria is winning the war against the Boko Haram sect. And the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense, Aliyu Ismaila, who disclosed this to journalists today in New York, said the nation's security agencies are ready to end insurgency in the country within the deadline given to them by President Muhammadu Buhari. Ismaila pointed out that the necessary machinery is being put in place to meet the deadline. The Elections Petition Tribunal sitting in Ado-Ekiti has dismissed the case filed by the candidate of the All Progressives Congress for the Ekiti South Senatorial District, Tony Adeniyi, for lack of merit. The judgment affirms the victory of the Deputy Minority Chief Whip of the Senate, Abiodun Olujimi, as the winner of the March 28th senatorial election. Rashid has more.
With the presence of heavy security personnel at the court premises, this displays the importance of the task ahead. Tony Adeniyi, the All Progressives Congress candidate at the Ekiti South senatorial election, has challenged the victory of Abiodun Olujimi of the PDP. He prayed the court to declare him the winner of the election or order a rerun, hinging on the allegation that Olujimi did not resign at the Nigerian Communications Commission 30 days before the election date. But in a unanimous judgment delivered by Justice Patricia Obayi on behalf of the chairman, the tribunal dismissed the petition, saying it lacks merit.
NCC is established by law. So our view is that it is applicable. She must resign. But the tribunal, in their wisdom, 3 wise men, they have done their bit, and they construed it to mean that she is not a public servant.
The judgment was a scholarly one. It was apt, and the judges actually went into deep research.
Tony Adeniyi, however, vows to appeal the judgment.
We are just heading for the Court of Appeal, I can assure you. All I pray is that the necessary papers should be made available to us so that we have gone through this type of process. So I'm not deterred as a client, and I'm not deterred as a lawyer to pursue my right to the apex court.
They can go to appeal, they can go to Supreme Court. The truth will be constant.
While the tribunal decides on this, tension is however high as the judgment regarding the elections of Ekiti Central Senatorial District is being awaited. Rashid, Coretv News, Ado-Ekiti.
You're still watching Coretv News at 4. We'll take a quick break. I'll be back on more stories. Please stay with us.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digit 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Is it warocracy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, trading looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face. Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth.
Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I said to hell.
On Core Digest,
I want to know why I should be believing them.
Every weekday, we bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody have the right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge.
Many thanks for joining us again. For more on the news and other programs, please visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can follow us on Twitter at CoreTV News NG. Also visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/CoreTV, leave a space, then news. The Federation of Public Service Games 2015 is finally been unveiled at the Imo State Government House. Governor Rochas Okorocha, who was represented by his deputy, Madumere, performs the unveiling exercise in his capacity. The report.
According to the state government, the massive turnout by public servants showed greatly how the state embraced the idea of hosting the Federation Games. While all cadres of civil servants made themselves available, organizers of the events review the 2015 game will feature all forms of sports activities. Deputy Governor of Imo State, Madumere, while addressing the audience, spoke on the significance of the event.
The vegetable method of keeping the body and the soul properly exercised and prepared for the task of building a bureaucracy that will be strong enough to provide for the nation a sustainable means of building a vegetable society. May I at this juncture urge all participants to maximize the benefit of the game and use the opportunity to create a strong and formidable public service for the nation.
Done with a speech, the Deputy Governor unveils the Imo 2015 phase of Federation of Public Service Game.
And when the idea was moved to me, that was the first thing I had in mind. I started to ask questions and ask my colleagues across the statistics. And they briefed me only on that. The last edition of last day was there at Ondo State. And it involved over 120 MBAs from our hospital.
Of the public servants of the federal government of Nigeria to sincerely tender our on-behalf appreciation to the government and good people of Imo State for granting us the vote rights for the 34th edition of the federal public service in Imo State 2015.
While many count down to the day, some are already expressing optimism with the way residents of Imo people and its government embraced the idea.
A former secretary to the government of the Federation, Olufale, Monday confessed that his family paid ransom to his adopters before he was freed on Thursday. He said the kidnappers only freed him after they received payment, adding that he trekked for 15 kilometers before he was picked up by the police who now was several kilometers from Akure, the Ondo state capital. The former minister's disclosure has put a lie to the claim by the Niger police that no ransom was paid before his release. Recall that after spending 4 days in the kidnappers' den, Falai, who was on Thursday escorted back home by security operatives, said he slept on the floor for 4 days and trekked several kilometers to get to the hideout of his adopters. In Lagos State, Governor Kumi Ambode has reiterated his commitment to carry out legal reforms in the state. The governor, while speaking at a service to commemorate the beginning of 2015-2016 legal year, said the synergy of the executive and the judicial arm of government is key to the success of any administration. Governor Ambode assured that his administration will continue to lend support to the development, enthronement and quick dispensation of justice in the state. We'll take another break. I'll be back with stories from outside Nigeria. Please stay with us.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to her husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
Because some people will stand for Yoruba land, will be strong man, you don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
You can now watch Coretv News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Coretv Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Coretv, leave a space, then news. Coretv News, a 24-hour news station.
As far as outside Nigeria, Russia is considering whether to follow the U.S. and its allies in conducting airstrikes against the Islamic State targets, according to President Vladimir Putin. Now, he spoke after meeting Barack Obama on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly. But the meeting and the need of speeches at the UN General Assembly also highlighted splits about how to end the Syrian war. Russia said it would be an enormous mistake not to work with Syria's President Bashar al-Assad to tackle IS. On Monday, the US and France again insisted that President Assad must go. But in response, Putin said, and I quote, "They aren't citizens of Syria and so should not be involved in choosing the leadership of another country." Russia would conduct airstrikes only if they were approved by the United States. He says, "I'm also quoting on ruling out Russian troops taking part in a ground operation in Syria." U.S. launches airstrikes on Tuesday. Fears rise the control of city would give Taliban a strategic base of operations. Afghanistan has mobilized military reinforcement for a counteroffensive to take back Kunduz, a day after Taliban fighters overran the strategic northern city in their biggest victory since being toppled from power in 2001. Tuesday's mobilization came as the U.S. carried out its first airstrike on Kunduz, capital of Kunduz province. U.S. Army Colonel Brian Tribus, spokesman for the U.S. and NATO missions in Afghanistan, said the raid was conducted in order to eliminate a threat to the force, though there were no foreign troops left inside the city. U.S. President Barack Obama has announced that more than 50 countries have pledged tens of thousands of new personnel to bolster the UN's overstretched and under-equipped peacekeeping operations. Obama said that about 40,000 new troops and fleets had been committed to the UN's Blue Helmet operations, which increasingly face hardened armed groups, shortages of hardware, and had been blocked by sex abuse scandals. China's President Xi Jinping made one of the largest pledges, saying his country would establish a permanent 8,000-strong quick deployment force to respond to global crises, and offered $100 million to fund a similar scheme under the African Union. He also said China would offer helicopters, other equipment, and provide funding, training, and hardware for 10 mine clearance schemes. Britain committed to 50 to 300 troops to the UN mission in South Sudan. Another announcements included drones and a signal communications unit from Pakistan, an infantry battalion and a helicopter from Italy, and engineering support of personnel from Sri Lanka, Japan, and South Korea. And in the world of sport,
our style, that's what he delivered. Here's that ball storming, Toyol with a flying lead.
Bo taking them out in the lead
Olympiacos of Athens are in London for match day 2 of the season UEFA Champions League tie with Arsenal, in which they are massive underdogs. The Commodore striker, who has played in the Premier League, Nigeria's AFCON 2013 winner and former West Brom Albion record signing Brown Udaya. Udaya, though admitting there are underdogs, thinks there's football and anything is possible. Arsenal have already lost away in match day 1, and we could easily have had a draw with Bayern Munich. Reigning champions Barcelona faced Bayer Leverkusen without the injured Lionel Messi, while Jose Mourinho goes back to his old club Porto with Chelsea in the Champions League on Tuesday. Barcelona reeling from the blow of losing Lionel Messi for up to 8 weeks with knee ligaments damage as they prepare to welcome Leverkusen to the camp. Britain's Johanna Konta reached the last 16 at the One Open in China after Victoria Azarenka retired with a leg injury in round 2. The 24-year-old Britain led 6-4, 1-0 when former world number 1 Azarenka decided she could not continue. Konta, the world number 66, will replace Heather Watson as the British number 1 in next week's rankings. She came through 2 rounds of qualifying in Wuhan, joining 19 of the world's top 20 in the main draw. Konta will play Romanian top seed Simona Halep and Russia's Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova in round 3. Finally, Romelu Lukaku scored twice as he led a superb comeback by Everton, who battered from 2-0 down to win at West Brom. The Baggies took the lead before the break when Saido Berhan finished well before Greg Dawson doubled the lead in the 54th minute with a header. A minute later, Lukaku rose to Northern Gerrard's cross and then set up Arena Corn who fired into level. Belgium striker Lukaku grabs the winner with a close-range strike from another excellent deal for delivery. The results moves Everton up to 5th on 12 points, while West Brom, who has yet to win at home, dropped to 15th with 8 points. But that's the wrap on Coretv News at 4 minutes. Thanks for watching. I'm Olaj Mokel. Good afternoon.